catching fire with everyone. Indian fever, you can be part of the fun. You're the winner at every game. That's where the excitement begins. So catch Indian fever, be a believer with the Cleveland Indians.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the February 14th, 2019 Lake County Sentinel Podcast. I'm your host, publisher, and sports editor of the Lake County Sentinel, Tim Shirer. We'll be with you for a half hour. We'll talk 15 minutes of sports and then 15 minutes of news and politics. There's quite a bit of news in both. So let's just get started. The Cavs enter the All-Star break at 12-46. Could look at it positively. They started out the year 0-6, so they're 12-40 in the next 52. So that's some improvement. They were 9-41. Now they are 12-46. So that means they're 3-5 in their last 8 games. So they are playing better. They are. Once they get their pieces back, they'll be a better team. Are they a playoff team? No, not even close. Because they need to build. They're rebuilding. And, there's nothing wrong with that. In the NBA, that's what you have to do. Most of the time, you get some guys that are, some teams that are good for years, like the San Antonio Spurs, Utah Jazz back in the 80s, 90s, into the 2000s. Yeah, you get some of those teams that are good forever and can sustain it. But most of the time in the NBA, you have to rebuild. So they're 12-46. Some people were thinking this is going to be the worst year they ever have. I don't think so. They're going to have 24 games after the break. I think they're going to win at least 6, okay? I think that's low. But it won't be the worst year they ever had. They only have to win 4 for it not to be the worst year they ever had. They only won 15 3 different times, or 2 different times. In their expansion year, they won 15. They won 15 in 81-82. That was with Ted Stepien owned the team. They won 17 in 2002-03. That was the year they got LeBron. Then they got LeBron James after that. They won 19 in 2010-11. That was the year after LeBron left the first time. But I think they can win 20. I honestly do. In the final 24 games, I think they can go 8-16 and end up with 20 wins. I truly think they can. So I don't think things are as horrible as people want to make them. Of course, in Cleveland, the only team that can rebuild is the Browns. If the Indians or the Cavs ever try to do it, they're cheap, they're evil, they're bad ownership. Everything else, they have to win, and they have to win the championship, or they're bad ownership, or they're a badly run franchise, or the owner's a jerk, or the owner can only win when he has the best player in the game, and Dan Gilbert has only won when he's had LeBron James. But I think Dan Gilbert really wants to win without LeBron James. And I think this time he's going to be able to make the playoffs without LeBron James. So the Cavs will not play again until next Thursday when they host the Phoenix Suns at 7 o'clock at the Q. And the Suns are terrible also. Okay. The Phoenix Suns are not very good. They are one of the only teams in the league that has a worse record than the Cavs. They're a game and a half behind the Cavs. As are the New York Knicks. So Phoenix is not very good. And it's going to be the Knicks, Cavs, and Suns battling for that playoff, for that top lottery pick. Chicago could get in there too. Chicago's only 2 games ahead of the Cavs, and I feel like the Cavs might pass them up, in the second half after the All-Star break. But let me tell you this too. People think the Cavs are the worst team, are so bad, it's possible, they may not even finish last place in their division. So, while they're not having a great year, it's been a lot of losing, they're not the worst team in their division even. Probably. I think Chicago's worse. So, that's what I see with the Cavs. Heading into the All-Star break, Cedi Osman's going, and he's playing for the world in the Rising Stars game. That'll be nice. That'll be exciting to see, because I think Osman has a really bright future. So, excuse me. So it'll be interesting to watch that this weekend. The Monsters are in action tomorrow night against the Belleville Senators in Belleville. If they win, they could pass them. They could jump over them in the standings and get into the 5th spot. You need to get to the 4th spot to make the playoffs. They've had a lot of injuries. They've had a lot of guys called up this year, so it's been a rough season. But they still have a chance to make the playoffs. And the fans of Cleveland support them really well, so it would be really nice if they made it. It's minor league hockey. Players come and go. And so it's difficult sometimes. You're definitely not going to have a winner every year, because players change every year. But the Monsters look like they maybe have righted the ship now. We'll find out tomorrow if they can win in Belleville. That will help quite a bit and get them one step closer to getting into that 4th position so that they can make the playoffs. It didn't look good a couple weeks ago for them. I mean, they were losing to bad teams. But, it's been it's a hard, long season, and you have a lot of injuries and stuff. Belleville's been hot. Belleville has not lost in their last 10 games. They're 7-0-0-3 in their last 10. So the only losses they've had were 3 shootout losses. So they've been hot. The Monsters have been 4-5-1 in their last 10, but I think it's pretty good in their last few games, actually. So tomorrow night should be a good game. It should be a good game in Belleville. So hopefully the Monsters can win it. And then they also play Saturday night in Belleville against the Senators. So they have 2 in a row. They could not only pass them, but they could pad the lead to 3 points if they could somehow win both games on the road. It's hard to win both games on the road. But then they play at 5 o'clock on Sunday in Utica against the Comets, who were in last place when they played them last month. They're now in 3rd place. So if the Monsters could get hot here and sweep the weekend, they could make some real progress in making the playoffs. So we'll move on now to the Men Are Icebreakers, who play tomorrow and Saturday at home against the Carolina Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds are 1st place in the Federal Hockey League with 100 points. The Icebreakers are in last place, which is sixth place in the Federal Hockey League with 29 points. So there's a big gap between the two teams. Carolina has 4 losses this year. 2 of them have come to the Icebreakers. So what does that tell you? Nothing. That's why they play the games in sports. They don't play them on paper. They have to play them on the court or on the ice or on the field. So 2 games this weekend in Menor, both at 7:30, Friday and Saturday, for the Icebreakers against the first place dominating Carolina Thunderbirds. Should be some good hockey. Hopefully. We'll see. If the Monsters or if the Icebreakers defense shows up, they got a shot at winning. They seem to be a defensively challenged team. You know, I've never seen a team, looking at the stats, that has given up 7 or 8 goals as much as the Icebreakers have. Capable of scoring a lot, but they give up a lot almost every game. So that hurts. The OHSAA announced today that Canal Park will be the new home of the baseball state championships for high school. It had been held in Columbus, I believe, since 2010, but there was a scheduling conflict this year because high school baseball is a week later. There's a scheduling conflict. So they have been moved to Canal Park, and it's a great ballpark. So it's a really nice place. So it's not like they're going from a really nice place to a lousy place. They're just going from one nice place to another nice place. Plenty of seats, plenty of room. Good field. Nice backdrop. I love the backdrop there. City behind it. Canal Park is a great place. Akron Rubber Ducks is a really nice game experience too. And football will be at Tom Benson Stadium again in Canton, as it has been. And that's pretty much all for that. The Indians invited 3 more people to spring training today. Tim Federowitz, catcher. Right-handed pitcher, Asher Wojciechowski. And infielder, Ernie Clement. I can tell you about Ernie Clement. Clement was with the Captains, was with the Lake County Captains. So I saw him play this past season, and I really liked him. I really think Ernie Clement is a good player and could have a major league career. Do I think he'll make the team? No. Do I think he could end up in Columbus to start the year? It's possible. It's very possible. So with the injury to Lindor, I think Clement may get quite a bit of playing time in spring training. And he'll get to prove himself to the Indians. He was a first-round pick, or not a first-round pick. He was a draft 4th-round pick in 2017 out of Virginia. So he's obviously a guy they like. I was impressed by him last year in Lake County. I know the fans liked him. You have to be good for the fans to like you. So it says a lot for Ernie Clement. And so that's 3 more guys invited to training camp. And players report on Saturday. I believe pitchers and catchers had their first workout today. So here we have some. We're going to get to news and politics now. We'll be right back. Welcome back for the second half of the Lake County Sentinel Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Shirer. And now we're going to talk some politics and news. Some of the news today is President Trump declaring sounds like President Trump is going to declare a national emergency. Former FBI chief Robert McCabe has said that, or Andrew McCabe has said that there were just Justice Department meetings to discuss getting rid of Donald Trump by the 25th Amendment. Also, Trump is going to supposedly sign the bill to keep the government running and then declare a national emergency. Okay? So, but we cannot forget, it has been 1 year since the shooting at Stoneman-Douglass High School in Parkland, Florida, where 14 students, 3 staff members lost their lives. And nothing has been done about gun violence. Nothing. But I'll give those kids credit. They have been fighting. They have been fighting to get stuff done. And I feel like they're probably going to get stuff done. But in this horrible country that doesn't want to do anything about violence, gun violence, and I mean horrible because of guns, nothing has been done. Nothing significant has been done. We need more background checks. We need it harder for people to get guns, and violence will lessen. Is it going to stop completely? No, it isn't. It isn't. So just because it's not going to stop completely, we shouldn't do anything? Ridiculous. That's a horrible, horrible theory. A horrible way to approach it. We're not going to be able to stop it completely, so why should we do anything at all? Why? And that might be the stupidest way to handle something ever. Along with thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. You know where you can shove those. Gun lobby. It's amazing to me how they'd rather have kids get killed. They'd rather have kids get killed than worry about or then make gun regulation. They don't seem to care. They only care about their guns They don't care about children's lives. Why should they care about children's lives? They don't. They care about their agenda, and that's arming people, getting more people to sign up for their organization and make money. Let's face it, it's all about making money. It really is. It really is. So I don't know how these people sleep at night or live with themselves, you know, when they just only care about making money and they don't care about children's lives. Children, people's children were killed in the shooting in Parkland, Florida. Okay? They're children. They dropped their kids off at school that morning and never saw them again. Never saw them again because they died. Because we don't care about gun regulation in the United States of America. That's pretty much it. We don't care. If we cared, something would have been done already. Something would have been done. Our bodies of government would have taken serious action to do something about gun violence. We're talking about on this anniversary of these 14 children and 3 staff members losing their lives. Think of all the people who were affected that day. How many? Not just the people who were killed, but all their families. Those staff members who had kids, whose grandchildren will never see them. Never see them. Because our Congress doesn't care about making it harder to get guns. I see here one of the children, sophomore, Peter Wang, was last seen in his Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps uniform. He's an ROTC student, holding doors open so other students could get out more quickly. Wang was unable to flee with the students, and Cruz, the shooter, fatally shot him. That's a hero. That's a hero. He was 15. And he held the door open so other kids could escape. He gave his life to save his fellow students. Do we honestly think that Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham would hold the door open to save others, putting their lives in danger? I highly doubt that they would. But this 15-year-old boy gave his life. Gave his life. on February 20th, just 6 days after, this student was honored by the U.S. Army with the ROTC Medal of Heroism. He was buried in his ROTC uniform, and he was given admission to the United States Military Academy. I wish we had more adult heroes like Peter Wang, 15, of Parkland, Florida. I wish we had more adults who cared like he did. But we don't. Especially the elected officials in Washington. They are anything but heroes. Because they obviously do not care about Peter Wang. They don't care that Peter Wang gave his life. Or they would do something about gun violence. We're to give a stock market report, and then I'm going to close the show by reading the names of the victims. Stock market closed down today 103.91 points. We closed at 25,439.39. At this point in Barack Obama's presidency, the market went up 4,268.19 points, 34.79% increase. So far in Donald Trump's, it's gone up 5,521.39, 21.70 increase. You do the math. Doesn't seem that important today. Doesn't seem that important today on the 1-year anniversary of these children losing their lives because our public officials don't care. I'm going to read them, the names. Hopefully I don't mess them up too much. Alyssa Aladef, 14. Scott Beagle, 35. Martin Duke, 14. Nicholas Dwart, 17. Aaron Fields, 37. Jaime Gutenberg, 14. Chris Hickson, 49. Luke Hoyer, 15. Carol Lofgren, 14. Gina Montalto, 14. Joaquin Olivar, 17. Alania Petty, 14. Meadow Pollock, 18. Helena Ramsey, 17. Alex Schachter, 14. Carmen Shentrump, 16. And Peter Wang, 15. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.